fell off the stage?
He see that like my previous face off or anything like that, he know that I stand in front of my opponent. So he try to beat me. And he forgot that he was so close off the stage. I mean, so close to the stage, like falling off. He was just right there. And the way he was just standing, he was standing like he had he was like not a fighter type stuff. He was just like, so I just like
Even though there is a lot of beef and animosity between the two fighters, they managed to remain calm during the press conference, with each fighter taking his time to answer his questions and making room for the other. However, there was really no interruption until Gervonta Davis reiterated that he believed he had won the first fight. Lamont interrupted, saying, "The footage is there for everyone to see. If I fought the way you did, I'd have lost by 5 points on the scorecards. Cut the crap."
like I said, we bumped into each other plenty of times. More than the average boxer would see another boxer outside of boxing. So,
however, Tank reiterated why the rematch was so important to him and said, "I see this rematch as an opportunity to fix my mistake." Tank responded to his inquiries, assured Lamont Poach of a knockout before round 9, and "I'm the reason he can say all this bullshit." They barely ever discussed one another's affairs after that.
Oh, whoa. That's when he tried biting. I ain't even noticed that till somebody said something. Somebody said he tried to bite me. I ain't know none of that shit till somebody said that shit after the fight. And look, they talking about it.
There's another comparison. I don't want to make to Mike Tyson.
Nah, that's crazy. That's what he do. He get dirty. He know that heat.
When it came time for the face-off, as they faced the crowd to take pictures, Tank violently pushed Lamont off the stage and vanished before Lamont could launch his comeback attack. What became a topic of discussion in the boxing community after the fight wasn't just the violent push, but also the dispute over whether Tank actually won the fight or not. Lamont Poach, on the other hand, didn't promise a knockout and didn't care much about the method of winning. He just promised his fans a victory.
We just gotta wait and see. He's a good fighter, but I'm coming with what I'm coming with. And, just gotta make mistakes and things like that and see if we can open him up and attack his openness.
Now he is going up and
Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach are resuming their battle, promising fans a more intense and action-packed matchup. The two have already faced off twice as amateurs, and this will be their second professional bout. According to Lamont Poach's complaints regarding their amateur encounters, he was deceived in at least one of the two fights. This pattern was repeated in their first professional fight, and there is also the pain of losing. In this case, the pain of a draw, which Lamont Poach will carry into their rematch.
Class for this fight. Do you feel like that's going to be a disadvantage for him?
No, I think low-key, I think he's still probably a little bigger than me. So as far as size-wise and height, so I think that it wouldn't really matter because I'm naturally a small guy, and I'm not somebody that's coming down from a heavyweight class. The most I probably weigh this or the last couple cans was 150.
It comes as a huge surprise to boxing fans that the fight that was once thought to be a mismatch is now worthy of a rematch and has turned into one big fight that the entire boxing community is looking forward to. Tank has never drawn a fight or fought a rematch, and despite fans' expectations that he will go into beat mode before the rematch, there is really no way to predict exactly how he will react. It could be that big fight for Tank, and it could get really, really bad for him as well.
Almost universally, people A, thought you fought an amazing fight, and B, thought you won it and it got taken from you. What has that outpouring meant to you as a fighter?
It meant a lot to me, man. The core boxing fans and even the spectators across the world, man, just it shows their support. It shows that everyone.
It's interesting to note that both fighters are aware of the significance of this rematch for their careers and have both returned to the gym as soon as it was announced. For Roach, the fight is a second chance to establish himself as a fantastic lightweight fighter whose name ought to be on the list of top guns like Gervonta Davis, Shakur Stevenson, Keshin Davis, and Vasily Manichenko.
Main thing, stay focused on the task. So, once you you in the ring, it's like no turning back. And you definitely don't want to get caught and be embarrassed, so you gotta stay sharp at all times while you're inside that ring.
I know that's right. Talking about staying sharp, is there anything that changed in your regiment to prepare for this fight with Roach?
I'm training in DC. I haven't trained up here probably like.
In addition to giving him the final advantage over Gervonta Davis, a fighter he has never lost to in their previous 3 meetings, a victory also gives Lamont Roach a sense of retaliation after having his victory taken away from him in the first fight. For Davis, the fight is an opportunity for atonement to demonstrate that everything that transpired on March 1st was merely a coincidence and that he remains the untouchable Tank. Davis, who was a heavy favorite going into the first bout and was predicted by many to win his 29th career knockout by stopping Roach, who was making his lightweight debut, had a punch that could do as much damage as a car collision.
Here with the legendary, you already know, Tank, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good, getting ready. We almost there, so feeling great.
So Roach is known for a lot of his counter punches. How do you feel you're going to be breaking down that defense in the ring? I told you I like boxing.
The notoriously patient Davis started the early round slowly, waiting for the hard-hitting Davis to make a mistake that he could take advantage of. However, behind a pro-Davis crowd, Tank was unable to provide the fans with the highlight reel finish they have come to expect from the Baltimore native. Instead, Pooch stood in the line of fire, absorbed what the hard-hitting Davis had to offer, and responded with shots that stunned both Davis and those in attendance.
50, so I don't think that that play a major part, but it's definitely gonna be a great fight. I feel as though that he has top-notch skills and I have top-notch skills, so come March the 1st, it's gonna be fireworks for sure.
And man, March the 1st is going to be one of many great fights that you've had. How do you keep your composure with such high stakes when you're in the ring?
Just gotta,
Davis grinned and spoke to Roach early in the battle, but he had to get serious after realizing that his opponent wouldn't faint in the intense light. Roach, however, wouldn't allow Davis the opportunity to respond and click the action button. When Gervonta Davis and Lamont Pooch Jr. entered the ring after the WBA super featherweight title bout ended in a disputed draw, the boxing world expected fireworks. However, no one expected the controversy that followed. Pooch's team appealed to the New York State Athletic Commission in the hopes of an overturning decision, but the commission decided that the draw would stand despite acknowledging a referee's error in the 9th round. Pooch Jr., who was obviously upset by the result, knew that there was only one way to settle the score and get Davis back in the ring.
Obviously the part with the grease in the eye, that took on a life of its own. You know what I'm saying? That was a headline in the fight. One is, what did you think when he said that initially, just like the grease in the eye? But 2 is like, when you was in the fight, was there any point that you saw that? Like, did you see like him kind of messing with his eye, or did you have any indication that that was something that was bothering him?
No, see, and that's the thing. If you look at the whole fight, he was never bothering his eyes before
you jabbed him.
Before I jabbed him. Even that right hand.
In a recent interview with ProBox TV, Gary Jonas, the promoter of Roach, provided supporters a hopeful update. In a video posted to Instagram by Exhilaration Boxing, Jonas said that the rematch is in his mind a done deal. The Baltimore-born fighter, who has been hinting at retirement, may return sharper and more aggressive than ever. He's likely going to be angry, more woken up, and probably more focused than he had been, Jonas said, but he acknowledged that formalities still needed to be worked out before anything was official. Jonas also hinted at a new and improved Gervonta Davis entering the ring this time.
To train harder, I have to be more mean, I have to be more physical. I have to do a lot. I have to do everything just a little more. And I think that will definitely put me over the hump, and I'm more than motivated to get back in there, get back in the camp, and work hard so I can secure a victory over a pound-for-pound fighter.
Although Davis is silent on the specifics, Roach Jr. has been outspoken about wanting retribution after being dissatisfied with the way the first fight went. He recently took to social media to advocate for a rematch, even placing a $250,000 wager on the result. Davis is reportedly hoping to settle the score by the end of May, and the only question now is whether the champion will actually correct his mistake or simply put on another performance that will give the boxing world the impression that he's done, which many are already believing. The whole boxing world was demanding to see Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach rematch after one of the most contentious bouts in recent memory on March 1st, so that the majority draw decision from the first fight could be put behind them.
That, like, you know what I'm saying, that kind of landed. He kind of rolled with it, but after that, you could see him wipe his eye. And then, right after I hit him with the jab, you could see him wipe his other eye. So it's like, it was corresponding to which hand that I punched him with and exactly which eye. So it's like crazy for him to say, it's grease in my eye. And I think even when he say that, you could see me, because I'm right beside him, you could see me like, nigga, what you talking about? So,
Right.
But you say you don't think he well enough.
whatever, see, but
It soon became apparent that both sides were seeking to rematch, and Chris Manx of Sports Illustrated confirmed this in an article stating that a Tank Roach rematch could happen as early as possible in Las Vegas, as both sides now committed to running it back. Now that a date and venue for Davis versus Roach 2 have been announced, fans have been debating on social media which of these elite boxers will win the second match.
who cares? Like, sweat gonna get in your eye, blood gonna get in your eye,
Yeah, it don't matter.
spit fucking around and get in your eye. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like you can be like, all right, time out, ref. Hold on,
Take no
ref.
time out.
You can't do that.
Right. Would you be cool with Steve Willis doing the next fight?
Hell no.
He can't do the next fight.
No, he can't do the next fight.
Right.
No.
A former user who shared 2 images from the first bout with the caption, "Roach is beating that fool again, mate," is an example of how some fans are supporting Roach. Other fans are supporting Davis for the rematch after one fan sent a gift of a cockroach brandishing a lightsaber, indicating that they are rooting for the Roach. For instance, one fan said, "I believe Tank will adjust and win the rematch, even though I thought Roach won the first 115 to 113.
How you were like, yeah, you call my name, I'm coming through. What went into that decision? And you just like, no hesitation, I'm gonna take this fight.
Because I know I'm the best. I just know I'm the best. I'm not a small 130 pounder for all the people who don't know. And on top of that, Tank is he's not a big guy. Actually, probably bigger than him in stature. Height and body mass wise. So, it's not.
Tank, the hype for this fight is only going to get stronger as the anticipated rematch date approaches, and when it's time to resume their verbal sparring, they'll start off strong because these were the final words they exchanged before the fight Tank started. Now, all the talk and all the effort I put in will pay off come fight night. Lamont is bringing his best, and I'm bringing my best. There is amazing talent fighting on the card.
It's not really like a big difference. I'll be more comfortable at 135 pounds, 5 pounds less to lose. And, it's just, that's one of the things that definitely factored in. And the fact that I know that I am one of the best in the world. So, I'm able to compete. Well, we have history. We fought twice in the amateurs. And, it's about that.
I want to be here and give it my all, and I'm grateful and happy to be at this stage in my career. Thank you all for coming out and seeing you all on fight night. Barclays Center is like my second home since I won my first title in 2017. It's a great atmosphere in Brooklyn. Come on Saturday night and you'll see Gervonta Davis ad. I've known Barry since I was young, and he's been in that space that helped me improve my game. Also, being around him is great. It's good to have 2 top trainers come together, Barry and Calvin and even Kenny. Having them all under one roof is amazing. I have coaches and teachers and things like that, so I absorb knowledge from them.
A couple catches, I see 2 or 3. But I'm back up this way, and it feel good to be back, in neutral playing field and things like that back in my hometown. So it feel great to be back with the coaches and get some of this cold weather and things like that. So I feel good. Nothing really changed as far as like training, but just making sure we stay focused on, that.
I'm going to do me anyway, so I reflect on what I've lost and what I've gone through, and then I go in there and grab my guy. Things will become terrible because he's been talking too much, so we'll see. Even though there will be fireworks, Lamont Roach stated, "I don't have much to say, I'm here to boogie." Saturday night will be a hell of a night. I'm coming with my tool bag. I have everything in my tool bag, and I got a big bag. On Saturday night, you know what I came to do, and why I'm here. I don't want to say too much. I'll keep it polite. One of the most important phases of my life is approaching on Saturday night. Everyone thinks I'm only here to show up, but when I do, I show that belt coming out, and I hope he brings his belt with him.
One guy that's in front of us, and that's Lamont Roach.
Now you talk about that hometown love. You know, for all the hometown boxers that are looking at you for motivation, you know, what advice do you have for them?
Just stay grounded, stay focused. Don't let nobody like take you off your path. And whatever you believe you could do, make sure you attack it.
I don't care about outside critics. I know what I can do in the ring, and that's the only thing that matters, honestly, that I go out and give it my all 9 times out of 10 when I do that, he continued. Thanks to Tank, who is the cash cow and head honcho, he gave me the opportunity. Let's boogie. Tank is clearly here for a reason. He does what he's supposed to do with the man in front of him. He has good skill, power, and a good boxing IQ. All of those things combined make for a good championship fighter. I take his compliments very well because they let me know that he's fully focused and will give it his all, which is what will make it a great fight.
When you lock up, is he strong? Tell that man too small, bro. Y'all in the same weight class.
That's a new weight class for me. A new weight class for me.
That's what I'm saying. That night y'all was in the same weight class. And he still feel like he too small?
He was too small.
Dang.
Being a 2-division champion would mean the world to me, and that's what I set out to achieve. If this bout smashes the previous record, it's because he has a better dancing partner. On Saturday, you'll see what I predicted, and the new one is as insane as it sounds. When his March 1st fight against Lamont Roach Jr. was still pending, Gervonta Davis was actually thinking about taking on heavyweight YouTuber turned boxer Jake Paul. It seems that Tank was hoping for a big payday for his final fight because he intended to formally retire from the sport by the end of this year with a potentially unbroken 300 record.
Yeah, no, we're working on it behind the scenes to make that happen, and obviously that's a fight where the fans are going to win, and it's going to be the biggest event of the year. We're working on it, but it'd be an exhibition most likely.
Although the outcome wasn't what the former World Boxing Association lightweight champion had anticipated, the Reaper wasn't like the 30-year-old's typical opponents, who put up a strong fight for 12 rounds. The outcome was a draw by majority decision, and since their contract negotiations included a rematch clause, of course Roach wanted a rematch. The knockout artist was at a loss for what to do. However, Shakur Stevenson doesn't accept that Davis wasn't playing at his best. The WBC lightweight champion thinks Roach will enter the fight with even more confidence this time around now that he knows exactly what he's coming up against. Speaking to Talk Sport, Stevenson said, "I know, Lamont, you gotta understand, I came up with these guys. I actually lived in a DMV, and I used to go to the gym and spar Lamont a lot. I know who Lamont is. I know what type of fighter he is. I know he is not just a bum. I knew exactly how the fight was going to play out. I actually made 20-some thousand just betting on the fight to go to a decision." He added, "I kind of knew Lamont wasn't going to be able to get no decision once the fight went to a decision. I know that Lamont is a hell of a fighter. I think with Tank right now, Tank is taking the rematch just for the fans and the people that's probably in his ear. I don't think he realized that Lamont is actually a real threat. I think Lamont is coming in with a new confidence for the best updates on news, events, and actions in the boxing world. Stay in touch with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you can be notified when we drop high-quality content like this. Until next time, peace." Stevenson went on, "I think he realized Tank can't hurt him, and I think that's going to make him much more confident than what he already is."